When you've got drama and entertainment talking about and portraying these climate issues, I think they do so in a really, really bleak way. So often you see these scenes of these kind of like dystopian scenes set in these apocalyptic futures where either, you know, we haven't done enough and so it's resulted in the end of mankind, or we've had to move to another planet.
Like Wall-E, when we have to like go and live on another planet because we've just, you know, looking back, we've just destroyed it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, yeah, and most of those kind of films, or like Interstellar's another one where, you know, we can't grow food anymore because we've destroyed the planet. And again, you know, the solution is go and live on another planet.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you see where the solution has been, well, actually, we changed our economic system, and we took the action that we needed, and actually, in the end, we came out with a positive world that we actually want to live in. I don't think I've seen anything.
Yeah, that's never the go-to.
That.
Yeah, that kind of, exactly like you said, like making those changes and redesign, you know, rather than just moving to a whole other planet and starting from scratch, which, you know, is completely unrealistic. Just taking, you know, the entire population, you know, that's the kind of solution we're offered, rather than just redesigning and kind of bringing in creativity and rethinking, what, like how we do things, which is a lot more doable.
It's really just not inspiring hope, and it's not inspiring. It's both kind of bad for our mental well-being, and particularly for young people. You know, it's no surprise that we're seeing rising levels of eco-anxiety when, you know, they are learning the facts. They're learning about how bad the situation is, and they're just not seeing it being taken as seriously as, you know, we know it is, or being offered those kind of hopeful solutions to move towards. They're just seeing kind of the dystopias and and being told more and more and more just how bad things are that we're seeing in the media. So it's leaving young people particularly feeling, you know, very anxious about it and not feeling particularly hopeful. And it doesn't lead to action either. We know from the research that when we don't have that sense of hope that things can get better, we become a bit fatalistic. Like, well, what's the point in doing anything? Because we're screwed anyway. It doesn't lead people to go, oh my God, it's so bad, I'm going to have to do something. It leads people to thinking, oh my God, it's so bad and no one else is doing anything, so I'm not going to bother either. So in order to kind of help people take more action, we need to have that sense. We need to be able to see the solutions. We need to be able to see, well, what are we working towards? And, you know, how can the world be better if we do take the actions as well? So just, it's leaving us mentally feeling, you know, anxious, and, you know, it's not good for our mental health, and it's not leading towards action either. So, you know, we desperately do need to see more positive visions of, you know, the world we want to move towards.
Definitely. I think I remember reading someone compared it to it's like, you know, ringing the fire alarm but then not showing anyone any, you know, fire exits. It's like, it's that, you know, and I think that was a good way of putting it, because obviously, you know, it's important not to downplay the problem, and, you know, and it is you know, it's important to get that across, but it's coupling it up with these solutions, rather than, because I think, like you said, it's just leading people to have this massive sense of despair and hopelessness, which isn't, like you said, isn't translating into action and engagement, which is what we need. Or just makes people as well, I think, switch off. I think as humans we can only kind of cope with a certain level of negative news as well, and I think, you know, speaking to a lot of people, it's almost like if I kind of start any kind of conversations, sometimes it's a bit like, oh, you know, like, people know it's awful, but it's easier to kind of just ignore the problem, because it's that thought process that there's, you know, it's a massive problem, which, you know, it is, but when you think it's a massive problem with, you know, no solutions, people just think, okay, it's hopeless, let's just not engage in it and kind of just carry on our lives without any kind of pushing for any other changes, because there's just, I think that's another thing, people kind of ignore it, Or when they do face it, it can be extremely triggering for eco-anxiety and stuff, and bad for well-being. So I think what we're doing, the way we're kind of approaching it at the moment without offering those solutions, it's not really working.